Hello and welcome to this Diamond Cycle 9 round of 16 cast. We've got Lions Esports taking on We Fight for Tupac. And of course we know Lions, now ex-Lions, Bad Monkey Gaming, but at this point in time they were still tagged up as Lions. As you can see, Fuzi's actually leading the bans here because apparently both Hanskin and Jonas Fan were not feeling like they'd show up for this round of 16 match, and as a result we've got Again and VN Sensation ringing for Lions here. Shouldn't change too much. There's pretty much no question there's a favored team in this matchup, so we'll see how long We Fight for Tupac here on the Hellborn side can last, really, I think is the expectation, because it seems pretty unlikely that with all the talent over here on Lions side that they'll be able to lose. It's always possible, you never know. Throws always exist, and they're missing two players here, so if you want to go for a team when it's down, this is probably the time to do it, of course. Hanskin and Josephine, two of the better players on Lions, and very notably missing that drafter. So we'll see how Fuzi does in terms of selecting heroes and banning them so the other team can't pick them, but he's already done a little bit of that already, with Moon Queen and Sandwraith getting banned out by Fuzi. Ophelia and Engineer banned out by Tomkus on the Hellborn side. So interesting, Fuzi's a short lane player and banning out a couple of short lane heroes. So clearly not playing selfish with the drafter role as he takes out a couple of short laners. And over here on the Hellborn, taking out one jungler, as Ophelia does tend to get banned quite a lot. Engineer also going to be banned out, as once again, not that surprising considering how powerful that hero is at this stage in the game, and usually considered first pick material in this situation won't be available. So we're going to move into the first picking stage here with the bans covered up: Pestilence, Wretched Hag, and waiting on a third pick here from Fuzi. So far, a couple of very, very strong heroes that do pretty well together. Pestilence and Wretched Hag, both plenty of gank potential, and both with as solid, at least semi-carries. I think I'd move Hag right into that full-on carry role if he is played in the short lane, or she is played in the short lane, as she just does tend to not only have plenty of magic damage, of course, but the right clicks get up there, and she'll do plenty of damage, especially with how evasive she is and how long she can stay in fights because of that. She's a really, really massive problem to an opposing team now. Torture going to be the last pick over here on the Legion side, and presumably that's going to be running a support role for Seal Kid, but could once again be a carry. We've seen Chessie most notably on the carry Torture, as the Stay Green likes to run that. Nobody else really embracing carry Torture, and I think that's a little too bad because I think carry Torture is very strong. But we'll see if Fuzi picks up that hero or if it is given to Seal Kid. I suspect it will be the latter, but always up in the air, and you like to see that, of course, with Hag and Torture both being somewhat difficult to call heroes. You'd expect that we'd have a support Torturer and a short lane Hag, or a suicide Hag, I think, but you could run the mid Hag, you could run the suicide Hag, you could run the short lane Hag, you could run the support Torturer, you can run the carry Torturer, and usually when you have a draft like that where the other team doesn't know quite where you're going yet is the sign of a good one. But speaking of that Hag and being able to lock her down, there's two heroes on the Hellborn side that are very good at that, Tempest and Bubbles. As we've seen the Bubbles Hag matchup quite often, and we've seen Bubbles win it. So if those two go up against each other, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hag win, just because I think the skill difference does favor the Legion side. But in terms of the heroes, if you put them on equal skilled players, Bubbles wins that match more often than not. And with the Shell Surf Song, the C combination, of course, having more nuke damage than Hag, plus the silence being a big problem for her, as she loves to have that blink available, it is a bit of an issue. So not only the silence, but the Kelp Field as well, and then of course his Tempest Ultimate and his Glacial Blast. So lots of stuff to lock down this Hag, lots of stuff to lock down this Legion side in general, as Hellborn have a couple of pretty strong team fighters over here so far. And they're looking for some push as well with Bubbles and Tempest. Master of Arms has anti-push more than straight push, but it will help with any possible pushes coming out from the Legion side, of course. The Goo not going to be very helpful against Torture because the Impalement does tower damage as opposed to creep damage. So this is not like a gather all the minions up and push type situation. This is a let's push towers and we'll kill creeps with right click auto attacks, a couple of spells, but we're not going to have massive creep waves coming in. So perhaps Master a little less effective in that respect. Notable that Lions has not picked up a jungler here compared to the Tempest on We Fight for Tupac. So if they're good about this, they can prevent Lions from being able to run the jungler, and they will be forced to run the second support. Presumably, again, we'll be playing that jungle role as normally it's HoN skin, but you never know. Of course, I would expect Super KG is going to be on the Pesty, and that Steelkid would be playing the support role with VN Sensation Suicide, and again in the jungle, that's what we've seen from these players a lot recently, so that's certainly what would seem to fit them here. And it's, yeah, of course, with Ringers, it's really just always hard to tell, though. So Legion side here looking for probably a Suicide and a Jungler or a second support, depending on what the bans are here for the Hellborn side. And plenty of options still left on the board in terms of those heroes. Of course, you still got the Pharaoh available. Tempest is on the other side, so whenever you see a Tempest, you're like, man, Pharaoh. Scout and Grinix, obviously options. Hag, of course, can herself Suicide, so if they don't feel like there's anything available that they really like, then they can put that Hag in the Suicide role, pick up a short laner. There are plenty of those. Although Fuzi's doing everything he can to ban out heroes that they would normally play. It's very interesting. And then the Hellborn, of course, looking for a short laner and probably a mid hero to pair with that Master of Arms, possibly for a dual lane or a more defensive mid to allow Master to sit in the short lane and put him with that short laner. Still plenty of options for that as well, as Lion's bans are finished here. Dark Lady Ravener and Corrupted Disciple. So once again, the heavy short lane bans. Still have Gemini available, still have Forsaken Archer, Kronos is up there. Puppet Master is an option, Dr. Repulsor. So a few options here, but most of the really good ones have been taken out. Moon Queen's down, Sandwraith, and the Corrupted Disciple are all gone. And we're going to see the Blood Hunter here. So that's pretty interesting that Lions is choosing to run that. I assume that's going to be a short laner because Pesty's almost certainly going to run the mid lane. So we'll see how Blood Hunter does in that bot, and that pretty much puts Hag as a Suicide. So now we're presumably either looking for a jungler, which would be Parasite, as he's the only jungler left on the board, or it will be a second support, one of the two. Over here on We Fight for Tupac, they've banned out Keeper of the Forest, Devourer, and Grinix, so no doubt that debuff ban targeted Super KG loves the dev. Interesting that with the Pestilence already, they'd target a ban at him. You would assume that Super KG would be playing that Pestilence. You could run Pesty in a carry role, of course, or if this ends up being two supports and an aggressive tri-lane. So certainly not locked into the idea of Super KG on that Pestilence, although now we are. It's pretty much no question going to be, yeah, Fuzi, Blood Hunter, Super KG on the Pestilence. Steelkid's going to grab that Torturer. Again, we'll be playing the Parasite, and VN Sensation should have Wretched Hag. As everything is getting swapped around here. And, well, we might see. That might be the stick. We'll see if they choose to do some more stuff. They have some time. So over here on Hellborn, still probably looking for a short laner, and I think in terms of everything, Doctor is really the one I'm going for here. It's going to be Nomad. So that's pretty interesting. Between Nomad, so yeah, that's probably going to be a short lane Nomad. I don't hate that. Really, I don't dislike it even. That's quite a fine hero. I slightly prefer him in mid just because his ganking ability is so good, but if he sticks... Actually, so we are going to see Super KG on the Hag. That's interesting. If he sticks in the short lane role, he will be able to farm very well.
Let's get it on.
That's interesting. It's felt like a double countdown there, but anyway. Super KG troll. So KG will be on that Hag. Now I wonder if this is going to be offensive dual lane here, maybe an offensive pseudo tri lane, because I mean KGE can play the Hag mid. He could also Suicide with Jonas and Fan not here. We don't know who's going to play Suicide, and with Hanskin not here, I mean it's pretty obvious VN Sensation's playing the jungle role because he's got Parasite. But no Jonas and Fan means we don't know really who's playing the Suicide role, and it's looking like it is going to be KGE. So he will be on the Suicide. Hag, again, is going to take over the middle role and have that Pestilence. So I guess, again, just not feeling comfortable with running the Suicide or running the Hag or whatever it is. He should be comfortable running the Hag. There's no reason why that shouldn't be the case, but I guess just doesn't want a Suicide. Hellborn's lane is reasonably standard. Rally is going to be in the middle, presumably with Master of Arms. Although no, he's actually headed top with Nomad, so Rally going to be solo mid, going up against a Torturer Pesty, and that's not going to be a fun time for him. He is a strongly defensive hero, of course, with the Compel and the general tankiness, so he shouldn't die too much, if at all, in this laning phase. But Nomad going to have much easier times up top with Master of Arms there to support him against this Hag, and meanwhile it will be a Bubbles on the Suicide roll. So neither side doing lanes that are particularly crazy. It is notable that they have options. You know, they could have Suicided with Rally, they could have sent the Master of Arms mid with Rally to form a dual lane against Legions. They could have done plenty of stuff, so neither side having lanes that are super easy to call, and you like to see that really, because it's not great if you're stupid obvious with your lanes, because then you can often get countered. And presumably this will surprise some people, considering they probably would have expected KGE to maintain his mid role and play that Hag, because certainly Hag can be run as a mid hero. So I think they were expecting that. They were expecting to see KGE on the middle, Hag solo, and they were going to run the Rally against that, figuring, oh, this is going to be good. Impalement from Torture forces the Compel away from Rally as he takes a bunch of damage. And so Rally's going to have a suffer time up here, but potentially so will Super KGE, as it's going to be a little difficult for these guys to kill him unless they put a ton of harassment out. And Nomad is pretty damn good at that with the Mirage Strike, especially if KGE is going to stay in range like this. And here comes the Mirage Strike, and all of a sudden he's at half his health. So luckily he's got plenty of regen. He's got 4 tangos left, having eaten 2 already, plus a health pot. And just the natural escapability of Blink. He also has lane control here, so that'll help out quite a lot. Over on top, Bubbles versus Blood Hunter, and Blood Hunter should be relatively okay in this match. It's unlikely he'll die, I think, just because the Feast will keep him up. It's so damn hard to harass a Blood Hunter out of lane because of that Feast. Nice deny there, Bubbles. And he is going to be in some danger, especially because of that Blood Crazy, preventing the Shell Surf and take cover. So if Fuzi is on point, and we certainly expect him to be, he might even be able to get the Blood Crazy off while the Shell Surf is in midair, so that would actually prevent him from, you know, taking any damage from it, and purely prevent Bubbles from taking the escape route. So, of course, since that is a double activate, you have to not be silenced when you press it again, so that you actually port the Shell Surf. So it's pretty critical, and if Fuzi can get that timing window, it's very possible he'll be able to pick off onto this Bubbles. Rally getting boxed out of mid a little bit. Takes the chain reactions there, but won't be too much follow-up, just some auto attacks from Steel Kid on this Torture. If we look at the lanes here, I think we favor Fuzi in the bot and the Hellborn in the middle. So potentially 2 lanes, 1 here. Jungle, of course, is going on with both heroes. Tempest's a little bit better at farming in the jungle for the most part, and right now sitting at 260 GPM compared to the 235 of Parasite. So presumably, without a multitude of ganks from Parasite, Tempest will farm a little bit faster. And I think the question is going to come down to here. Nice on the screen there, stealing the Skeleton King actually. Hag jumps away, so good snipe there from KG. So with Legion, really they should be able to win both mid and bot. And that would normally mean like, oh, that's a big problem for Hellborn, but it's going to depend on exactly how hard they win these lanes and how well Tempest and Parasite do and how well top does, because we've seen instances where, you know, you think, oh, you know, we're winning that lane and you're winning that lane and it's even, but the resource advantage actually isn't because of the degree to which somebody is winning a lane. So Fuzi should win this lane reasonably well, but probably not completely dominate it, at least until he gets level 6 and he can put the Hemorrhage on Bubbles. Now with the take cover as well, and the Shell Surf, it's still questionable whether he can actually get a kill here, but it will be a lot easier once he has the Hemorrhage available. And in mid, you know, it's going to also depend on exactly how much Rally is boxed out here. Seal Kid has a haste rune, looking for a kill on Tempest, and I think he's going to find it. Yep.
Queen and country.
So Tempest getting ganked there now. Gonna have to worry about that haste rune wearing off here as Rally's coming in from the side, and so is Master of Arms. Now Torturer's in some trouble here. Compel is available, obviously. Not going to take it as Bessie's coming in from mid to give Seal Kid some support. Up top, Nomad once again trying to harass this Hag out, but now is pretty low himself. And there's a health bot can be taken by Hag. Nomad is out of regen. So all of a sudden Super KG going to have plenty of ability to farm this up. He will get pulled some trees from Master, so that was nice. Sharing. Sharing is caring. So far, we've got a 2,300 gold lead here for the Legion side, and an 1,100 experience lead. No surprise there, really, that Lions winning the laning phase here is certainly very much expected. And look at the GPM charts right here. We've got both Pesty and Bloodhunter above Nomad as that free farmer. Of course, Tempest taking the death, shooting him back down to 200 gold per minute as Parasite's farm has gotten up to 270 GPM. Sorry, on bot. Bubbles is actually ganked. There's the Blood Crazy. Here comes Parasite. And he's just like, what's up, buddy? And apparently there's a unicorn taunt there. Bot Rune will be spawning in about 5 seconds, and Rally has a bottle, so that should be collected. No, actually, it will be boxed out, and it's going to spawn top anyway. Super KG will pick it up, and it was an invis. So bottles here on Pestilence and Hag, as well as Rally. I almost said Rhapsody. Compel over to prevent much from happening, and he will be fine. Bot Hemorrhage going out there. Shell Surf comes away from Bubbles, and Bloodhunter's going to die of this. He should get the kill here. So, pretty easy kill for Bloodhunter there. And he is just destroying this lane. Like I said, you hit 6 and all of a sudden it's like death. Hag over here, going to get caught up by Master of Arms a little bit, but has a blink available, and the Invis rune as well, so just going to instead pop that. Master's still looking for it, just going, ha, you can't see me. Nomad going to pick up a life tube. Presumably that will be his helm. In mid, Tempest is looking for something over here. He is level 6, has an ultimate. And Rally is also level 6 with an ultimate, so if Tempest can line this up. And there it is. Everybody coming in. Seismic Slam on Torturer kills him immediately. Parasite actually runs into it. He's going to fall as well. And Impel Stun from Pestilence will allow him to get away. So nice gank there coming in from the we fight for Tupac side as Tempest ultimate actually catches 3, and they pick up a couple of kills off that. It's going to transition to a mid-tower push. In fact, the Elemental is available. Pestilence off the side. Not too much he can do against 4 here. Super KG actually falls up on top somehow. Nice ultimate there from Nomad, and that would just destroy him. So with the death up there for Super KG, this is probably going to be a mid-tower push. Impel coming in. Here's a port as well. 2 ports, in fact. Pestilence coming in here will get stunned out by the Compel, so not going to be too much follow-up. Plus Glacial Blasts are also on him. And this is going to be a tower kill. That is deniable. But it will be a dead tower here in favor of the Hellborn. Seal Kid's going to have to take about a minute and a half to work on this. Up top, Hag getting forced out once again by the Mirage Strike. She has the bottle, so we'll be able to regen a little bit, but not too much. Refresh grabbed on bot by Bloodhunter. So Lion still has an advantage here, but not too much of one. 3-3 hero kills, just a bit ahead in both gold and experience. And coming into the mid game, as heroes are starting to rotate around, take some towers. It's a little hard to figure who's going to be better. Certainly Bloodhunter and Nomad both quite strong as mid-game carries, so is Hag. And Over here looking for a jump onto her, puts a lane ward down, and Tempest obviously no ult, but has Glacial Blasts, but she will retreat into the woods. Blink is available up to the high ground over there, and she has a port in a second, so we'll see if she actually just decides to leave. Tempest has no meteor, so can't clear the trees. Still looking for her, but this is going to turn into a top tower push as Sag will actually port the tower here. And anyway, so, strong mid game for both sides, really. Torture, Parasite, Hag, Pesty, Bloodhunter, these are all very strong mid game heroes. It doesn't take too much to get them going. But the same can be said of the Hellborn. Really, pretty much everybody on the Hellborn side is in a similar position. Perhaps not Tempest, who likes quite a lot of items. He likes his Portal Key, he likes his Blink Dagger, or his Shrunken Head. Portal Key and Blink Dagger, the same thing. He likes the Astral Blade, Bring a Sorcery. It's just, he likes a bit of build-up to make sure that ultimate can't get stopped. And really, the only thing that's going to stop it here, I believe, is the Pesty stun, as that's the only physical stun if you have that's going through a Shrunken Head. The face hug from Parasite also will do that, so that's going to... two potential cancels, but I'm thinking that Pesty's going to be the only one with a really quick Portal Key. Perhaps Parasite will get one eventually, but probably not right off the bat. And as a result, unless Parasite has really good positioning, it's going to be much harder for him to pick off that Tempest and silence him while he's in the middle of ulting. Top tower here, definitely going to go down. Looking for a deny, won't happen. Mirage Strike onto Hag, and she's going to blink away. And it looks like Hellborn's going to keep pushing this a little bit. Not anymore. Now they're backing off. Parasite coming in here looking for a gank onto Rally. Of course, he is level 9. Has that face hug available. Not quite enough for the Codex, 1600 gold. Still looking for 1,000. Now Bloodhunter perhaps going to get picked up. Needs to run away. There's the Compel. Will hit him on the charge shot. Nice Seismic Slam. And the Glacial Blast. Fuzi is going to drop here, no question. So good gank there from the Hellborn side. Picking off the Legion's carry. And we fight for Tupac. Looking pretty solid here. As Hag going to take some damage up top, but won't be too dead. The gold lead is still in favor of the Legion side, but we're looking at a third tier 1 tower push here for the Hellborn. And they've got 4-3 here, goes Mio, jump here onto Bubbles, there's Space Hawk. Master's Call comes out, not going to be enough. This chain reactions help finish them off. Both Nomad and Rally will actually finish the port here, but not going to be anything for it. Port bot, but not going to stop the tower kill. And that's 3 tier 1s down in favor of the Hellborn. It's actually like a gold lead now, despite the kill on the levels. Experience still in favor of the Legion side, but we fight for Tupac, showing pretty well in this laning phase. As we're going to see another port down here, Torturer will ward this up and therefore see Master Rooms and run the hell away. So they'll also see the bubbles coming in. This top secondary tower perhaps going to get a little pressured with Nomad and his illusions. But Pesty going to come here and deal with that problem. So, coming out of the laning phase here, there's a bit of an advantage to the Legion side as they're down a bit in gold, but they're ahead quite a lot in experience, and really in the early game, experience is more important than gold because you get those earlier on abilities faster, and you can do more spell damage, that kind of thing. At this point in the game, it's not like you're going to show up with a really powerful item anyway, so for the most part, a slight gold lead doesn't help you too much. But the experience, having a couple extra levels, having that level 2 ultimate before your opponents do, is going to be pretty huge. And both Fuzi and BN Sensation are 1 level away from a level 2 ult. That's favoring the Legion side at this point a little bit, but certainly a reasonably close match, as Hellborn did have quite a strong laning phase. Especially their push, which has been a concerted effort to take down Legion's towers, and it's proved very successful. Bit of a group up here in middle as Tempest is hanging out. Rune will spawn in about 5 seconds. Hag and Pesty guarding top. It will be bot, double damage. And it will be guarded here by Master, perhaps even picked up. Tempest's going to port top, looking for something. He has a portal key. So going for that early portal key build, realizing that there's no fantastic way to stop him at this point. There's no real long-range stun that's going to be able to get him from the other side of his ultimate. Shellsurf coming in from Bubbles will do something to the creep wave as Tempest is still hanging around in the jungle. But especially before Pestilence gets the portal key, before Parasite gets a portal key, it's not going to be easy for him to be stopped. The Blood Crazy is, I think it has enough range. $650. Yeah, that should be enough. So how big is the radius in the Tempest ultimate? 400. So actually it's not. If the radius is 400 in the Tempest ultimate, that 650 isn't enough. He's going to have to skirt around the side of it a little bit, which is always dangerous because, you know, if you get a little too close, all of a sudden you're trapped. KG can clean up some creeps here. As he's sitting at just 210 gold per minute, so presuming we're going to see that Light Brand here, it is going to be a little bit delayed, and so is the Grimoire. So his farm is not going to take off, per se. Fuzi is sitting at 375 gold per minute, which is very, very good for him, especially because he wants to be powerful in that mid-game. But check out Nomad, man. 405 GPM, 3 tower kills, certainly helping a lot. But no question that his farm has been fantastic. Tempest right behind him at 325. And Nomad is going to be a pretty serious problem here, as he's already got a Rune Cleaver going for a farm build here. So perhaps not going to be quite as active as he normally would be in the early game phase, especially if you have that Shroud route. Invis Pesty over here looking for something. Mirage Strike gets thrown out, and now Nomad's gone. So good game sense there, figuring I don't want to be here for some reason, as Pesty will in fact scout him out anyway as he's coming back to the lane. And Nomad now going to be in a little bit of trouble. Bugs on him, of course, will prevent the Invis from going off, so Mirage Strike once again gets thrown down as on bot Bubbles falls. There's a Hemorrhage on top, plus the Blood Crazy, and oh boy, Chain Reactions just hit, but that's plenty. So a ward, of course, in the jungle there helping spot him out. And now Nomad, you're in some trouble, buddy. He's chasing down this Hag, acting like he wants to do something, but now Pesty's going to open. There's the Bugs. There's the Stomp. Nice ultimate from Nomad. Excellent reaction. Will this be enough? Bat Blast comes out as well. Looking for the jump here. Excellent Tempest ultimate, hitting everything. Hag is definitely going to fall here. We'll see what else they can get. Facehug will stop Tempest momentarily, but we will die, and there goes Nomad as well. So VN Sensation coming in for the cleanup, and will be able to do plenty of burst damage. Over here on the side, Rally getting caught out by a couple, takes the chain reaction, he's double damage, doesn't matter. As Pesty and Torture will clean him up, so it's a 3-for-1 exchange there in favor of the Legion side substantially, as they pick off the 3 best farmers on Hellborn, and lose only their Hag in exchange for it, who is not farming that well herself, the 4th best farmer on our team. So a trade massively in their favor, no doubt. As that's one thing you gotta be concerned about with Nomad. Parasite will kill you. Because, man, he does a lot of burst damage, and Nomad is squishy. So he's got the Mystic Vestments now, that'll help out a little bit, but, you know, if Codex continues to be leveled up here, Kelphill actually going out of the Pestilence, followed by the Shell Surf and the Push, but Hemorrhage is on Bubbles now, he's going to take a bunch of damage. Pestilence will fall here, and the Blood, actually, God! Bubbles, be careful. But, man, Bloodhunter's so fast with the sense on him. Haste speed. Not going to catch that. So they get to pick off on the Pestilence. They stop the top tower push. That's a good exchange there from Hellborn. So we'll see if VN Sensation decides to level up the Codex. God damn it. Stop jumping in creeps. Stop using your abilities, VN Sensation. I want to look at your items. But honestly, I think that's the correct route to go here for VN Sensation. If you look at this Hellborn side, squishies abound. Rally's going to be reasonably tanky, but I think the reason that Nomad hasn't really caught on as a carry is because of how squishy he is. So if he gets locked down at all, he will die very, very quickly. So mid tower falls in favor of Legion, and so does bot. And a Sizer Slam there to finish off Parasite, so just enough to kill him. As Steel Kid was coming in for the defense, but not in time. Nomad going to defend bot secondary tower, so towers almost even up here, and as a result, the gold swings back in favor of Legion. Jump here by Pestilence onto Rally, and their chain reactions follow. Compel is available, so there's the regen as well. Actually gets stopped. There's Tempest coming in with a Portal Key and a Glacial Blast on top of Parasite, or Pestilence. Meh. And actually Rally has his Portal Key as well, so lots of long-range initiation here from the Hellborn side with 2 Portal Keys plus Bubbles. And, man, Super KG gonna fall over, or get a kill over here. Jump in, Sonar Scream, and just nice auto attack. That's very painful. Bubbles gonna get the hell out of there. And yes, Fiend Sensation is upgrading that Codex level 2 now, so I like that route a lot. He's gonna be able to find a lot of picks with that. Pretty much everybody on this Hellborn side. I mean, look at Bubbles, 663 health with Steam Boots on Int. Like, that's just Face Hug Leech right there on an auto attacker too. He doesn't even have a Codex. Nomad's probably not gonna die to the burst thanks to the Mystic Vestments and 1100 health. Now 1138, but he will die relatively fast. Tempest with Boots on Strength has not even 1200, so he will die to the burst as well, so will Master of Arms. Rally won't. And Bubbles has, yeah, Strength, Steam Boots, Bubbles, 872 health. He'll die. Real fast. Ancient's gonna get cleaned up here by Fuzi and Super KG. As KG actually has 278 GPM now, that pick off of Nomad helping a lot. Most of the Hellworm team grouped up here. They will find the illusion, just auto attack it, actually demoralize him where it comes out. Pause once again, but we don't care because this is a replay, bitches. That's actually a Codex 3 on Parasite. Fiend Sensation, pretty solid farm at 300 gold per minute. As pretty much everybody on this Legion side has strong farm. Hag the 4th lowest still, but 281 now. And she has the Light Brand. Obviously, that's going to help out with the farming a lot. So, we mentioned the Rune Cleaver before on Nomad, so he's clearly going for a bit of a later game here. And I wonder if that's the wisest move, because, you know, Tempest means that any game can be taken late. But at this stage, you just never want to expect Tempest Ultimate to not be cancelled. You don't want to have to rely on a 5-second Temp Ultimate to win you team fights. It's just not going to happen. It's going to go off for 1 or 2 seconds before somebody kills it. And so Nomad going for the farm here, trying to compete with both Fuzi and Super KG on the Bloodhunter and Hag, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it, because if you look at the rest of this Hellborn side, there really isn't carry potential at all. Bubbles has basically none. Like, he doesn't become a right-click threat at any point. Rally's mildly annoying, but he's not going to do that either. Obviously, Support Master of Arms won't be helping out, and Tempest is, once again, not a right-click threat. He's a pushing hero, he's a teamfight hero, but he's not going to provide sustained damage in a teamfight. So Nomad the only one doing that, and I can understand why they say, okay, you're our only sustained damage. We want you to get big, big, but I really wonder if that's going to end up being the best route, purely because this might be I think this really feels like a team that needs to win in the mid game, because the late game, Pesty, Bloodhunter, Hag, that's just way too powerful. Compelled, Portal Key jumps in, baits out the Impalement and the Chain Reaction from Torture, as the Forked Lightning hits a bunch. This is a pretty obvious top tower push, as all 5 heroes are grouped up from both sides. Parasite way in the back looking for a pick off onto somebody. Ideally that Tempest, as KG will jump in onto Rally over here. He will take a chain reaction as well. Kelpfield coming out onto 2, but Rally immediately dies. Parasite actually helping to pick off. Nice Tempest ultimate, immediately canceled by the face hug. Bat Blast hits a couple, but the ultimate from Nomad, it helps take out the Fiend Sensation. And so far we're looking at a 3-for-2 in favor of the Legion side. Super KG on Hag trying to run away, should be able to, as she blinks into the woods. Pesty coming back in with a jump. And Fuzi actually going to be stopped there, will die. So that was a terrible decision right there. This ends up being a 3 for 3. And probably in favor of the Legion side, as both Pesty and Hag lived compared to Nomad and Master of Arms. So Nomad's really the most important hero for Hellborn by far, and him living is huge there. Not as important that Master lives, but I think losing the support would have been preferable to losing Rally, Bubbles, or Tempest here for the Hellborn side. But they do still have the top tower push. And that's therefore a nice fight for them. And now Nomad's managed to boost himself back up, especially with that kill onto Fuzi, 450 gold per minute. He has a shrunken head. And Fuzi gonna have to catch up a little bit. Fuzi also has a shrunken, of course, but not having that Rune Cleaver means it's a little easier for him to get items. Jump here by Pesty and Master of Arms is totally screwed. There's the chain reactions and death. So took a little too long to counter ward there. Rally coming in here, and there goes the Blood Crazy and the Hemorrhage. He will die. So trying to get the compelled turnaround, but the silence came in from Blood Hunter at the last second, and BN Sensation picks up the last hit. And now he's getting to the point where he can actually solo kill even the Rally with Vestments. So, Shrunken Head for Nomad, no doubt a great pickup. Plenty of magic damage on this Legion side between especially Hag and Parasite. And then the Hemorrhage from Blood Hunter as well, so if you get that put on you, you pop the Shrunken like, haha, no magic damage, bitch. And more than anything, though, that's going to allow Nomad to be mobile in fights, and that's what he wants. More than anything else, Nomad wants to be mobile. If he gets locked down, he's screwed. So screwed. He just does not have the survivability to eat any sort of sustained stun or hex or anything like that. Anytime you lock him down, he's going to die real fast. So Shrunken Head, no doubt a very powerful item for him. Maybe just need to jump here on the Hag, but there comes Nomad as well as the Kelp Field goes down. And Super KG going to take a bunch of damage, will be able to blink. Nice timing there, but nice. Meteor comes down from Tempest, and that will help finish the kill. As Super KG got a little too aggressive there. Hellborn side group up here in mid, perhaps looking for a jump into the Legion woods, and that's sort of what they're going to be doing. Dropping some wards. Not going to find anybody though, as the closest is Silke and Fuzi, but they are leaving. Word of Rev there will spot the gank squad. Their Codex recipe picked up by Parasite. Codex 4. Nomad gonna find Rally actually gonna find a stack here. And we'll finish this off. A little surprising they didn't just clean up the jungle. But perhaps they'll do that now. Up top, yet another push coming in here from the Legion side as they have 4 heroes grouped up. 5, in fact, as Parasite is off to the side in the jungle, perhaps looking for a pick onto somebody. Kind of surprised he didn't just go for Tempest right there. You might not be able to kill him with 1400 health, but had the opportunity, I think. And Tempest has his ult, so if you're looking for a top tower push, and they will. And Hellborn not interested in defending that, apparently. And this is going to continue. Parasite grabs a Hell Cannon, And Hellborn are going to have to address this, I think. They have ultimates up on everybody. And everybody except for Master's level 2 on that ult. Fuzi's all the way up to level 17. Nomad's at 18, so pretty solid levels coming out here. Nomad at 18 compared to Seal Kid, for example, at 9 on that Torturer. And Hellborn will back off as... Or, sorry, Legion will back off as Hellborn defend. Probably a good decision there. Looking at the rest of the team, we've got Portal Key now on Bubbles as well as Tempest and Rally, so 3 Portal Keys for the Hellborn side. Just massive amounts of mobility there. Nomad has to have something else because he bought a Shrunken a while ago. He's only has 600 gold right here. Bunch of wards coming out for Master. There's no question Nomad's got another item here. Speaking of Master, he's got the Soul Scream Ring on top of Striders, some wards on Power Supply, so actually solid farm for him, 150 GPM. He's been doing all right for himself, 1 and 1 and 4. Tempest, in the meantime, working on that Shrunken Head, has Mighty Blade picked up already, 2k gold, so relatively close, just about 1900 off, or sorry, about 900 off, 800 off now. And we will have it. Interesting. Not sure what Nomad has, but it's gotta be something. There we go, Rasher. So deciding to go the stun route, I kind of like that actually, because Legion side has plenty of mobility themselves. Both Pestilence and Bloodhunter, and really Hag for that matter, are going to be very hard to catch, especially, and so will Parasite if he manages to infest a creep. So locking somebody down with a bash, especially considering the massive auto attack speed he gets with his W, True Strike, right? Yeah. It's going to be pretty solid. On bot, Fuzi in a little trouble there. Nice portal key, and then will actually put the hemorrhage down, but Rally will just port away and be like, ha, you can't kill me. So forces the Shrunken out of Fuzi as well as the ultimate, and in exchange only gives up a port. I thought that stun was physical. No, not a physical stun, just physical damage. So a bit of a lull phase here as both sides are sort of regrouping. I think the problem is Hag. So Bloodhunter continues to keep up with this Nomad. Hag is continually increasing her GPM. She has the Grimoire now. She's working on her Shrunken. Absolutely the right choice to go for considering all the stuff over here. Seal Kid actually gets picked off in the meantime. By Rally, there's the stun in and the Seismic Slam. So just figuring, get the kill fast, get out, and well played there. But you can see the Golden Experience lead continues to expand. Super KG can be a little ballsy with his farming because he's so mobile, he's so hard to kill. And as a result, the Legion can take as really all the resources that are available. They can push high up in this top lane without being too afraid. They're taking their enemy's jungle right now, especially with Parasite having the farm he does. But this is going to turn into a game where Nomad has to beat Bloodhunter and Wretched Hag, and I'm not convinced he can do that. He's a very powerful hero, and he will do plenty of damage, but if you ask him to go up against 2 carries with basically nobody else on his team providing significant right-click damage, he's not going to win that fight. He's going to need a massive Tempest ultimate to make sure that nobody really gets away and he can do a bunch of damage uninterrupted. Will that be available? I sort of doubt it. Bloodhunter is, has the silence. Now it's not available thanks to the Shrunken on Tempest, but there's still the physical stun from Pestilence, and there's still the face-out from Parasite. And that's assuming that Tempest can actually get a gold ultimate off in the first place. So mid-secondary tower going to fall, top secondary tower going to fall. Bot secondary tower in a ton of trouble as Fuzi's pressuring it. And Lightning Speed actually gets dropped there. Nice Kelp Field. We'll stop with the port away from Fuzi, and he's going to take some damage here. Activates the Shrunken Head, puts the Hemorrhage onto Bubble, so he'll not be able to chase anymore. But he's not actually activating the Blood Sense right now. Compel is not available from Rally thanks to Blood Crazy. And he will cut through the tree a little bit. Still going to have the Glacial Blast. Courier coming over here will spot him. Where's the Glacial Blast? There's a Shell Surf, and Fuzi's dead, so... Took a long time for him to die, and as a result, top tower actually going to fall here. Left fortification going off, and it's not going to matter. Legion are going to get a base tower here. And does nobody have a port? Nobody has a port. Everybody's port's on cooldown. This is Rax. Like, if they commit to this would have been Rax. If again on this Pestilence had committed to this, it would have been Rax. Now it won't because Hag's going to have to get the hell out of here. Looking for her now, but she's well gone. Well, targeting pushing a little bit on the creeps, but Fuzi providing his distraction for so long that he managed to give his team the top tower in base. It's a fairly big deal. Bot tower will fall, is denied, so nice play there from Pesty. And Legion have no more outer towers. Hellborn still have 2 in mid and bot, but they've obviously lost that base tower. It's a pretty big deal. KG over here perhaps looking for a pick onto somebody. Bubbles will go off to the side. And actually he'll get spotted out by the Shell Surf. Song of the Sea goes off for reasons. And KG is just going to be like, alright, I'm done. Bye. Bubble's still looking for him. But he's blinking around through them woods. Parasite grabs that portal key, as I assume he has Codex 5. Nope, still level 4. Interesting. He has 1,000 gold for it, so he could finish it off. Not sure why he doesn't. And now we've got a... Well, we've got a Dancing Blade here on Nomad, so I want to say that's a wing bow, as the courier will spot... Is it going to spot him? No. Hiding just too perfect a position. Hag does have a port anyway. She will jump in here, get Kelfield and Song of the Sea, but he has a Shrunken Head up, looking for the Bat Blast. Not going to be enough. The Seismic Slam finishes her off. So Super KGE hanging out there for I don't understand why, and just giving away a free kill. As Hellborn are eating into this lead a little bit. And the longer this game goes, the more scared I am for this Nomad, just because he has to go up against the 2 carries. But Legion are sort of like giving away kills a lot. And I don't really understand why, but they are. Nomad going to be attempted here by the Hellborn, as KG is dead for 37 seconds. Obviously there is plenty of vision of this. Seal Kid has the ward. But this is going down relatively fast because Nomad hits really hard. And especially with that True Strike, it's fast. So, you know, normally you'd see the more invis on the Nomad, perhaps thinking the bugs are there, so that's pointless. I don't know if he's actually going to go for the Wingbow or if he's going to go for the Ginjiro. I think both are solid options. There goes Kongor, and Nomad obviously will take the token. And they should be able to take some control of the map from this. They need to use this and not just farm their own woods forever. They need to use it to find some picks, I think. Take some risks, knowing that, yeah, you know, if you do get caught out, you have a token, so you should be able to come back. Invisrune bot as the... Somebody probably should have stacked these creeps, but oops. Legion agents are doubled. KG once again back to top lane, looking for some more farm. 343 gold per minute here. Continues to slightly increase as she now has her Shrunken. Torture not doing too bad with Steam Boots, and KG is in some trouble over here. As you got 3 heroes looking for it. There's the Compel there, and with Seismic Slam. KG just gets away though, thanks to not enough jump, so Bubbles just at the end, and I don't know if the Glacial Blast actually hit her, but it didn't seem like they did. Regardless, just enough to live through the Seismic Slam, and will port away. Nomad in mid, perhaps looking for a pick. Well, put the Mirage Strike on defensive, but he's pretty damn tanky. All that physical damage from Nomad, he just doesn't care. Soulsborg helps him out. It is actually offensive here, so it's not too much, but it's just generally a tanky dude. On bot, Rally in a bit of trouble. Invis Pestilence coming in here. We'll take the Demoralizing Roar, but looking for a jump. Seal Kid, not enough backup, really. So it does end up being a Wingbow there for Nomad. And I like that decision. I think with all the Invis coming out, or the Invis attack coming out from Pesty, it's getting more Invis, maybe not the greatest idea, as Master will get bumped into a little bit, and perhaps should know that somebody's invisible there. Rest of the side over here, Bubble's looking for a pick-off, gonna get a kill field onto BA. She puts the Shrunken Head up, though, and as Hemorrhage is there, nice ultimate there, gonna lock everybody, that Blood Hunter down, so he should die, but so does Tempest. Now Hack taking a bunch of damage. Pestilence is going to die a lot faster than he should. Parasite off to the side. Actually, Seal Kid just gets evaporated, so that's a 3-for-1 exchange. This Tempest actually, no. Sorry, Bubbles died, not Tempest, but Bubbles buys back immediately, and this is going to be a bot push. As Nomad is leading the charge here. We might need to see a buyback here from Fuzi. Because this tower is going to die very, very fast. Super KG, of course, already having used the Bat Blast, not too much available. Tries to get him, but he does blink away. Tempest will fall here. And Nomad actually in a lot of trouble. Buyback from, or comeback from Pestilence. There's a Seismic Slap, killing 2. Very well done from Rally. Token goes up here. Fuzi does obviously buy back. Bubbles comes back in, looking for the kill onto Blood Hunter here. Bash is just doing so much work. And he gets lightning speeded, but he's so slow. Hemorrhage going to slow him down, and now he has to stop and stand there forever. There's a nice ultimate. Will finish off Super KGE. Eats chain reactions. And he is going to die here. That's pretty hilarious. Now Bubbles is dead too. So a couple of buybacks necessary for the Legion side in order to prevent the push here. And they played that pretty damn well. With the Hemorrhage going out, stopping Nomad from chasing. Otherwise he actually would have activated the Blood Sense from Blood Hunter and made it impossible to chase. So he has to be a little salty about that, but Nomad getting a bunch of kills. As he's now up to 557 gold per minute. And a reasonably successful fight down there. I mean, they killed everybody multiple times, really. Because they ate buybacks from Fuzi and Pesty. They killed 4. I believe Seal Kid died twice. Pesty died twice. Fuzi died once. Super KG died once. And V and Sensation died once. So that's a total of, I believe, 7 kills. And Legion, for their part, also got 7, but one of those was the token. And I think they did. Did Master ever die there? No, he just pieced early, so they only got, like, I think that's 6. One of which was the token, so 5 real actual kills. KG gonna farm here in the middle. Get some of that GPM back. Fuzi's sitting on 6k gold here. And he has the Frostborn Shrunken Head, so I guess he wants to finish a Wingbow or something like that, but he also wants buyback. Yep, there's the Wingbow. So maybe he's just gonna finish the Wingbow and be fine with that. Hammer's there onto Nomad, will just stop, puts the Blood Crazy up as well, so he's not going to be able to too much. Nice Tempest ultimate off to the side. Will catch Hag out. Chain reactions do nothing, obviously, to a shrunk-headed Tempest, and just not enough follow-up, though. So Tempest wasting his ultimate a little bit there. Only on 1 target, and no follow-up, really. As Hag was easily able to get the hell out of there. And that was probably mostly due to the fact that Nomad was off to the side going, I can't do anything, I'm silenced. That's just worth noting. Most heroes at this stage, like, if you put the silence on their carry, they're like, thank you for the increased base damage, because now my right clicks are so much more powerful. Nomad hates being silenced. even with the increased right click, it's so much more valuable for him to be able to spam that true strike, to have the ultimate available. And he doesn't like that silence. Now Bloodhunter are going to help take down this mid tower. Then they're going to transition top, it appears. Master putting the goo down, but BH just sitting in the middle here. Gets the Glacial Blasts. Meteor goes down as well. Dodges one stun thanks to being in the trees. And they're just going to siege these racks down a little bit. Jump here onto Tempest, puts the Shrunken Head up. No ultimate available, obviously. Nomad getting locked down in the background. Steel Kid dies immediately to the Seismic Slam. Hemorrhage going off here as ultimate comes out from Nomad. Actually, Tempest dies right after that. So does Being Sensation. So 2 dead here. Nomad still looking for kills. Dies, though, as Hag finishes him off. But Hag's getting locked down here. Just gets the blink off. Portal Key there from Bubbles. Not enough. Compel is not available, and Hag will be okay. Has another blink here. Fuzi is low. So that's a successful defense from the Hellborn side. Actually taking 2 for 3, but losing Nomad. And this is the situation where it matters which heroes die, because KG and Fuzi are easily the farmers here for Legion. They're the heroes that need to live, and they both did. So now they're going to turn this into a whole bunch of farm. They've got a dead Nomad for 50 seconds, and that's time in which Fuzi and KG can use that to catch up to his GPM. Fuzi already pretty close at 490 compared to the 550 of Nomad, so he probably won't catch him in this, next 30 seconds or whatever, but very strong. Actually, that fight was pretty damn interesting because, Tempest had no ulti, so him going in there, popping his Shrunken, becoming a focus fire was actually really good because it took a bunch of damage from the Legion side and spells and stuff to kill him, so he wasn't really going to do much in that fight without an ulti anyway. Tempest just, without an ult, he doesn't do much. Like, he doesn't right-click that hard. 151 damage, which is, that's solid, but it's not great. I mean, like, compare Master, 117 to 123. That's a hard support Master versus a Tempest, and 20 damage per hit. It's really not that big a deal. Torturer is at 81 to 85, so he's got shit, but hey. So, Tempest's not providing too much in terms of right-click. Glacial Blast from mildly helpful. Meteor's a little helpful, but he's always there for his pushing and for his ultimate, and when he doesn't have the ultimate, he's not very helpful. So if he can use that Shrunken and his body to eat some damage, that's more damage that's allowing Nomad to live longer. Over here, going to get caught in the jungle arrows, the HoN Glacial Blast, but Pessi is here as well, and this is going to be a damn Tempest, no question. Eats the Master's Call immediately, and he falls. So Master's trying to help him out a little bit there, but he was never not going to live, or he was never not going to die. KG over here going to clean up some CS. And she now has 6,200 gold as well, so perhaps saving for double buyback, perhaps saving for something like a Savage Mace. I think with the Wingbow on Nomad, that's probably what she wants. A Sheepstick instead, that's just as good. Maybe even better. Another 4,300 here on Fuzi, as top rocks are getting sieged down a little bit. Will force a Glyph and some ports here. And Torture perhaps in some trouble. There's a Shell Serve and Song of the Sea. But Pesty comes in here from the side, and Bubble's immediately going to drop. Pesty puts the Shrunken Head up. Will prevent the Compel from actually stunning. Now he has the Flight active, and he's trying to get the hell out of here. Nice Tempest ult in the background, catching both Fuzi and Field Kid, but he will get stopped. Parasite throwing some stuff out. Pesty going to have stun 4. Backblast hits 4. And Sheep on Nomad, he's going to fall. There goes Rally. Bubbles buying back, coming in, trying to finish somebody off, but nobody's going to die. Oh my god.
Can't touch this.
Fuzi has an Annihilation. And Being Sensation dies to neutral creeps for some reason. Buyback on Nomad and on Rally. So lots of buybacks to use. 3 buybacks to use there. They only lost 2 heroes in total, and one of them was Being Sensation, who died to creeps. And they killed, 5, 6? So a really, really great fight there from Legion side, as all of a sudden, look at that. Bloodhunter's out GPMing Nomad. And this is what's happening right now is 48 minutes in this game, Nomad is all the damage for the Hellborn team. Like, it's great the Tempest was able to lock them down a little bit, but he got canceled relatively quickly with my Parasite, and it's just not enough. Like, they need a 5-man hole so that Nomad can go crazy in the middle of it. Because if they don't get that, they have to compete with Pesty locking people down continuously, doing plenty of damage himself, especially with the bugs. Bloodhunter's hitting really hard right now. 345 to 351 damage, and that's not even with a Blood Crazy on him. He has a Savage base now, so that'll prevent the evasion from Nomad from doing anything. The Sheepstick on KGE, a very adept pickup, or what's the word I'm looking for there? Clever, I don't know. It's like, that's a very good pickup because Nomad is their whole team. You lock down Nomad, they have no damage. They can't kill you. So that Sheepstick will be used to lock down Nomad. Was last fight, and he died. Even it was, it came out really late, so it's not like it did all that much. He was probably going to die there anyway, but, a little helpful. Kongor here, perhaps going to be attempted, as Fuzi looks like he's going for it. Master going to run into Torturer here, and this is going to be a dead Master. Eats the Sheepstick, and that's 5 heroes there helping out on kill for poor little Master of Arms. And that's probably going to result in a Kongor kill here. As Seal Kid's looking to ward things up. They know what's going on, and their Shell Surf scouts it out, but Legion's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You can't do anything about this. Nomad's top still. And this is going to be a dead Kongor. Token onto Fuzi. So Nomad's doing super well, and that's great. The rest of his team really doesn't have much. Look at the GPM charts here: 315 on Rally, 270 on Tempest, 173 on Bubbles, who's never really been having a great game. And Master, of course, at the end. They compare the 425 now for Hag as she just continues to get more powerful. And if this were Nomad versus Bloodhunter, Nomad would probably win, to be honest. But it's not. It's Nomad versus Bloodhunter, Hag, and Pesty, and Parasite for a little bit of help too. He's mostly there to cancel the Tempest Ultimate, do some damage around the background, and spread it around, make sure that the Hellborn feels as uncomfortable as possible with staying in the fight, but it's still very valuable. And at this point, Bubbles is just mostly useless. Like, his magic damage, everybody has shrunken heads, so nobody cares. There's 3 shrunkens here on the Legion side, and his right clicks are nothing. What's he got? 120 damage at the top end. Doesn't matter. Blood Crazy going into Bloodhunter there will destroy these Wrecks. Almost 500 damage per hit. Compel, not gone in, but they did more than original roller hits. And Bloodhunter's just like, yeah, I'm going to kill these Wrecks now. Mirage Strike from Nomad, but not too much. Compel Stun there, and on top of Charge Strike. Counter Initiation from Pepsi. Now, Nomad just dies, because there's a Sheepstick. Ultimate coming out, trying to go off from Rally, won't happen, as in the back. Parasite getting stunned out, and Nomad buys back. Nice Tempest Ultimate there, locking down both Seal Kid and Fuzi. So this is going to be at least 1 kill. Fuzi's now running away, going, you can't kill me. And once again, Nomad getting locked down, will die. Super fast. Hag with the Shrunken Head, gonna finish off Master. And that's the game. So, there it is, but it was a good game. Like, this is arguably the best team in the world in a round of 16 matchup against a team that's just mostly nothing. And they held out for 52 minutes. They gave the Legion side a scare, especially in that bot fight where they just destroyed it. The team fight, and Nomad is jumping their base. It cost them a couple of buyouts on the Legion side to actually just defend their bot tower and racks. So, really a very good performance here. The issue, of course, was that Nomad was never going to outcarry Bloodhunter and Wretched Hag. So this game was allowed to go too long. Nomad is good in the big game, but so is the Legion team. So I won't say that they had an opportunity to win this game. I won't say that they won't, or they didn't. It certainly felt at times like they could have been more aggressive. They could have tried to force the issue harder just because they had to. I mean, looking at this lineup, you can't imagine how it was going to go to 50 minutes and Hellborn would be on top. And that's basically what happened. So it felt like there was a timer on the Hellborn side, and they didn't quite make that timer. So Like I said, though, it's not really like they did anything wrong. They played a really, really good game, and they just got beaten. So we'll see if they can replicate that performance in Game 2, give BMG/Lions a run for their money, perhaps even steal a game in this series. Is it possible? We don't know. We'll find out. But Game 1 here goes to